Hey, what's going on guys? So welcome to my first video tutorial, and in this tutorial I'm going to be showing you how to make a movie style color correction using Sony Vegas Pro 9. You can use pretty much any video file that you want, and yeah, in this tutorial I'm going to be using three things which are right here. A Canon Rebel T2i test shot, which is the video file I'm going to be using. A border, which is just a PNG image with two black bars, one at the top and one at the bottom, and a audio file, which is a song by an artist called Bonobo. It's called First Fires, and I thought it would just go really well with the video that I'm about to make. So yeah, you're going to need Sony Vegas. It really doesn't matter which one. I've got Pro 9 because that's the only one that works on my computer. There is some newer versions, I think Pro 10 and 11, and you can get a free 30-day trial for literally any Sony Vegas file. So go ahead and download that and open it. It should look something quite similar to this. And yeah, let's get to it. So the first thing you want to do is get your video file, which is this right here, and drag it straight into Sony Vegas. So once the peaks will build, which is basically the audio, but considering there's no audio, it's going to build real quick depending on how fast your computer is, and how long your video file is will depend on how quickly the peaks build. So once you've done that, you are going to want to go and do 3 rules that I basically do every single time I load a file into Sony Vegas. You want to go onto the audio track, or the video track even, which is right here on the timeline, and just click somewhere on the video, it really doesn't matter where, and right click and go to switches while still on the video part of the timeline. Now you'll see 3 things right here which we are going to want to tick and untick: maintain aspect ratio, reduce interlace flicker, and disable resample. So I'm going to go ahead and untick the maintain aspect ratio. What this basically does is just allow it so your video can be outputted to the resolution that you want. So if you've got a video that is 480p and you want it to be rendered in 720p, you untick that and it will basically make it widescreen. So that's what it is. It's just a rule of thumb that I go by every time I put a file in. Next thing is reduce interlace flicker. Obviously, if you have any interlacing on your video, this will reduce it. You know, it's in the title. And the last one, which is disable resample, this is the most important one. What this does is, if you have any ghosting on your video file, meaning if you sort of move the camera around, or the video has a lot of moving images, sometimes you'll see like the same frame multiple times and it will get more vivid each time, but you'll still see the frame when other frames are coming. So it leaves like a sort of ghosting trail. Disable resample basically just gets rid of that as a whole. Now the next thing that we want to do is add the color correction, and this is the main part of the tutorial. You want to go over to here where it says project media and slide right over to video effects. Now once you open video effects, you'll see a whole load of effects that you can put onto your video. Each one does a different thing, but for this we're going to be using the color correction tool. So, you know, color correction is in the name. It basically allows you to change your video footage to whatever color you want. You know, if you want colors to be more vibrant, to be more saturated, you can do so using color correction. So what we want to do is go to reset to none, because all these ones here are basically presets that come with Sony Vegas, but we want to make our own. So we're going to go reset to none and just grab it and drag it straight onto your video clip on the timeline. Now you'll see a video event effects will pop up, and it's got the lows, mids and highs. This is basically if you want to change the color as a whole. But what we want to do is basically just put an overlay of color on top of the video to give it a more darker feeling. So we want to go to the scroll bar and just go down. We'll see 4 things: saturation, gain, gamma and offset. We're going to be changing all 4. So the first one that we want to do is saturation. We're going to bring the saturation down to around 400. and just by dragging this right here. So yeah, this is decent, you know, around 400 is okay. Then we want to go to gain. We're going to bring that down to around 800. So just around here, you know, you can see it's getting different on the preview window. Do the exact same for gamma, but we're going to be bringing that down to somewhere around 700. It doesn't have to be perfect, you know, you're never going to get spot on. And offset, we want to bring this up to 14. So I've gone a little bit over right here, 14.1. And now you can see that it's changed completely if I go back on the timeline. And now we're done with the video event effects. This is basically the color correction that we're looking for. So we can exit out of this, and I'll show you basically how it looked before and how it looks now. So this right here is what it looked before. This is what it's like now. We've added sort of like a little overlay onto the video to make it look a little bit darker, added some sort of like blue into it. And now, you know, you can leave it like that if you want, but I'm gonna add a border which I'm gonna leave in the description that you can download, which just basically gives it a little bit more of that movie feel. So what we want to do is go back to the timeline over here and right click and make a new video track. So insert video track, and this will make this appear up here. And want to go back to wherever you have your border saved and just simply drag and drop it onto the timeline again on top of the video file. So once that's done, you can just drag this out by clicking the ends and dragging it till it fills the whole video. And here we go, black border along the top and the bottom, and now we're pretty much done. So I'm going to show you the final product with some music over it. Hope you enjoyed, and thanks for watching.
How do you see it? Dreams gone, fading fast, moving on. Why do you need it? In ways come over you, it's an undertow. Honestly, I can't believe it's burning again, like the first fire.